Hey, you guys, this is Heather. Listen to this. Now, don't scroll away yet. I posted something called Mow a few days ago because I wanted to mow over someone. I was so mad. And I just wanted to say if you have been the target for identity theft or cyber bullying of any sort and you think nobody will ever believe you, I just really want you to know that you're wrong. I believe you. You matter. I can't tell you the number of things that I have to go through every single day just to get my phone in order. For example, I have 8,000 contacts because I was in telecom for 25 years. I worked for AT&T as an executive and was fired 3 years ago for having a disability. And I also, at the same time, dated someone for 90 days. He sent me 3,358 texts in 90 days. I really don't think that you need any more information on how that went. It did end up in a family violence protective order with SWAT. He's well known in the town that I live in, and so I've lost a lot of friends because of that. However, I'm not the first woman that he tried to kill, and so I don't care if you don't want to be friends with me because I will refuse to let a man put his hands around my neck. But at the same time that he was acting crazy, I got fired and I lost my identity. And I've talked a lot about that in some of my other videos, and that's not what today's about. What today is about is I really thought my phone just wasn't taking a charge. You guys all know everybody's got a phone. If you're watching this, you have a phone, or you did. And you know when your phone acts quirky and you just turn it off, turn it back on, or you know what the problem is and it gets worse and you get a new one. I've watched my pension disappear. I've watched my money go towards Apple for point of sale charges in a different state. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars over 3 years. I have to dispute with my bank almost every day. I have to go and turn the notifications back on for my daughters because those are silenced. Not all 8,000 are silenced. Believe you me, 25 years of fixing CEOs' phones. I kind of got it down. And panic attacks still happen from my PTSD, from my near-death experience when there is a storm that I don't know that's coming. And like a surprise lightning is one of my triggers. Now I'm telling the world, but I also told someone that I dated for 90 days. And one of the things that's constantly on, it has to be done every day, is I've turned the notifications from, for all my weather apps from silent back to a noise. It doesn't matter what it is because it's going to change by tomorrow. Photos of my 300 paintings have disappeared, reappeared. For the last 4 or 5 days, my phone was in black and white, like monochrome, like any page, anything. And then, oh, and I haven't been able to use my USB port to charge my phone for a year. And recently I put it in developer mode and safe mode, which is like if you're gonna let someone work on your phone. If y'all don't know this, you have a maintenance section in your settings where you can set it to maintenance. That way they can mess with your phone and they don't see all your personal details. But anyways, I went and put my phone in safe mode, and then bam, my USB port worked. Now I tried that a year ago, and whatever they had sent to my device kept it from from being active. So I was showing my daughter a video on how to cut a mango. Actually, I was showing both of us, and she was like, "That's weird," because my phone was in black and white. And then whenever I locked it, which I always lock it, it's just a habit, my wallpaper was in color, which shouldn't happen for an Android. And Isabella's, oh, I never say my kid's name, sorry. She said, "That's even weirder." And the funny thing about that was I have found audio mirroring, keystroke, parsing, MDM, um, enterprise SIMPIN. If you know any of the words that I'm saying, these are corporate speak for mobile device management and paying attention to what somebody's doing on a regular basis at all times. I look at my notifications every morning and see what they did while I was sleeping. Last night they turned the mic on while I was sleeping. That's not creepy at all. And I don't know who they is, you know? I could have got a new phone easily. This is the 31st Android that I've had. I mean, I spent 25 years in fixing phones, fixing laptops, hotspots, you name it. I can't fix this because it's set up almost as though it's an enterprise phone. Now, do I know if this is an AT&T issued problem? That would be weird because in a month I will have been fired for no reason except that they did tell the Texas Unemployment Office that I was fired for misconduct. So, no unemployment for Heather. And they blacklisted me. So, after 250 job applications, I handled $1 billion contract for over 10 years. And I worked there handling business customers for the rest of the time. So, 25 years. And 250 applications, not one taker, not one anything. I mean, I started looking for a lawyer. I even asked the lawyers if they would hire me. Um, so I just can't begin to say, I'm sorry for posting a video the other night that I know was really dark. Even I wouldn't have watched that. I just wanted to clarify what I was saying is that I know that there's something like, I don't know, 4 billion people in the United States alone that go through identity theft. And then I think there's a whole lot of people that get cyberbullied, which could be somebody bullying you in words on social media, or someone harassing you like me, where it's very personal, because I have more than weather apps. You know, I have a music app and a this and a that. None of those ever have changes. The changes that happen on my phone are personal and deleted text messages. I'll just see the preview. I'll just happen to be looking, and I live in the country for a reason. I didn't want to ever feel like my kids weren't safe. And this was back when we didn't have to worry so much about the World Wide Web and hackers and unethical behavior. But I'm sharing it now because I've had enough. And I also refuse to get a new device because in my eyes, it's all evidence. I just need help. I need, if you know of someone that is specialized in forensics, cybersecurity, a lawyer. I live in a small town. Yes, I can Google. Yes, I can probably find them on my own. Oh, by the way, my laptop is also, it was the first thing that started this whole deal where I just felt like I was losing my mind. I could never remember my passwords, even though I'd never had that problem before. And then weird things would be activated, like linking your laptop to your mobile device, which I just would never do. I just have a certain way of doing things, and I would never do that. So then I thought, okay, maybe it's a default. Well, guess what? Last night I found that was activated again. So I pulled the event log on my laptop, and if I lose you right here, I'm sorry, I'll make it quick. Um, and you can see where there's multiple events of continually trying to access, different pieces of the laptop. Authentications, I think is what it was called. Anyways, I am not a brainiac. I don't know enough. My dad used to say, Heather, you know just enough about a little bit to get yourself in trouble. Now, I was 17. But what he really meant was I've always been super curious about so many things. And so this whole cell phone thing has been making me a little nuts because I pretty much lost my entire support group, including family. I 3 years ago I had 14 best friends, and now my phone never rings. My I don't barely get texts. Oh, I found an app active that I thought I had. I know I uninstalled it, and at some point it must have gotten reinstalled because if they're using the mic to figure out when I'm asleep, I guess that's the time they can do it, whoever they is. But there was a mode, and there's a modes and routines for Samsung, and there was somebody had set up a mode called sleep and set it for like 9 or 10 p.m. And what it did was it turned my whole entire device on to do not disturb. So my kid that's in college, I wouldn't have been able to get a message from her. You know, anything from the weather apps, even if they weren't silenced, I wouldn't have gotten, I would have just had a full on panic attack while doing art in my art studio, which is what I'm usually doing at that time of night. And then it was funny because it was only set from like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So just enough time before I actually went to bed and may have noticed. It's kind of hard to like mess with your phone when you're painting. So felt personal. I'm wondering if, and I keep getting these alerts that say Gmail is syncing and all of these things that I have turned off. And it's just, I'm just over it. I'm just exhausted, you know? And if anybody here has PTSD and you're still listening, I just want you to know that I was just lost in the middle of the ocean. I wasn't in war. I wasn't attacked by a shark. I was just lost for days. And the Coast Guard called my family and told them that I died. And I didn't. I lived. And so when I went back to work, within 24 hours of getting off that helicopter, I was proud, like I lived. I wrote my kids a letter. I had PTSD delayed. It didn't happen for 2 years after. So for anyone that has felt the way that I do about any of these topics, I just want you to know that you're not alone. And I've gone like way over my time, so I'm going to do another video on why you matter. But I wanted to make sure and cover what it's like to stand your ground in the middle of what feels like an absolute tech storm happening around me, and I don't know why. I just know that said crazy ex did tell me that He wanted me to marry him, which was even weirder after all that happened. I ran him off with a shotgun. And he probably thinks the video that he has of that is something that he can, show somebody to prove something. But how about the 200 videos that I've uploaded on YouTube showing that, I have good intentions, I'm a nice person. I don't have to prove that. And in Texas, we have the right to bear arms, and I said that to his camera as he was inside my house and I was outside my house, and my kids were inside the house, and SWAT had just been called the day before to remove him. So if this is him that has decided to use the money that he made from selling his recycle business, which I wouldn't have guessed it would be 16 million, but that's what he said, along with the fact that he got accepted to MIT 30 years ago. And his name is a color. If you have any idea what I'm talking about, we live in Central Texas. I'm going to find out who it is. And if you have felt like I do in any way, shape, or form, please know that you're not alone. Because the thing is that I am alone. I've been isolated. I found my phone just because of the knowledge and thinking it's weird that my phone hasn't rung in like a month. And I put out 250 resumes, and I went back to Indeed.com and had the wrong phone number down for me, which all I've done is phone numbers and phones for most of my adult life. And then I found my call forwarding had been activated to a psychiatric ward. That was cool. And then other times, my voicemail box. So like when somebody leaves you a voicemail and then you go to listen to it, it actually old school, it dials a phone number. You have like a specific phone number that goes to your voicemail box where your messages are held. And I've noticed that occasionally that number is changed. Now that part, I know how to do a lot, but you really need to have back-end system access to do that. So I don't know if it's him or if it's my old employer or if it's some kid in some country in their mom's basement, but they would have to know a lot about me to make this so specific. And the other night when I just was like, I've been mowing and I just want to mow over, whatever 365 days times 3 is, that's how many days I have been dealing with this. And it's been longer than that. A little bit longer than that, maybe by a month or two, but it covers the time frame when I dated said person whose name is, his nicknames is a color, and same color as grass, and he owned a recycling center in the town that we live in. And when he sold it, he got in a really bad accident and had a head injury. And I didn't know that when we started dating. We'd known each other 30 years. My kids thought of him as an uncle because we have such a big family group. But I didn't know he had had a head injury, and I'm not sure if it made a difference. I really don't know if it just brought out the bad in him. I think a man putting his hands on a woman and saying that you deserve it, while I was brushing my teeth, is semi-psycho. And then I couldn't get him to quit, so I had to yell for my child to come in there. So it brought the whole family into a really negative space. And I just told him, you have to go. And he told me this. He called me at some point later on, a year or two later, I don't know. And he wanted me to still marry him and like just apologize. And I think me apologized, not him. And I just couldn't get past it. I was like, why? I mean, anybody you take baby steps with, and because I kept thinking like, you make friends with the enemy. You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't know. I can't think of the right words. Um, Better to be friends with him for that moment because he was on my property than to just try to start a new fight. So he said he wanted me to do some really weird things, and I was like, no. And he wanted me to agree to marry him, and I said, you have to start by fulfilling your promises because he had sent, unbeknownst to me, inappropriate of me photos to my children who were under the age of 18. And when he realized he was wrong and said that he didn't remember doing that because he drinks vodka instead of water, he promised to pay for their college. And, all the way till if one wanted to get a PhD, didn't matter, both of them. And he made a few other promises like that he decided if I wouldn't marry him, he wasn't doing that. And when I said, I'm just not going to put up with this is not my life, he told me that I would regret it. Specifically, you and your two daughters will regret your decision that you just made. You will feel it. And I have. I have my friends gone. I have no idea if they texted or called. Haven't talked to my dad in a year. Can I make outbound calls? Yeah. But you know what I figured out 3 days ago? I got this weird text from my mom, and I said, hey, I don't know why it wants to download, because, sometimes your phone does that if you're like in a bad network area. I said, will you resend it? And she said, resend what? I haven't sent you a text since Wednesday. And I counted on my hands, and I was like, that's 4 days of text. And I have been getting text messages from her every day. And I just thought, whoa, I think that I've really been messed with. Like, I don't know what's real anymore. And I'm not the kind of person that is going to come off sounding crazy on a video just to prove a point. It just makes me sick to my stomach. And I think the one thing that a narcissist like him would really like to hear is that I feel like I almost can't do anything else but boil on the inside because I've allowed them to affect my life. Allowed. But what's odd is all of the corporate features that I found active on my device and actively active, like used in the last 12 hours, it'll say. So if it was my work that did that and they said, oh, we meant to turn that off when we fired you. Well, first off, it's my personal phone, and that wasn't consent. There was no consent. And secondly, why would my mic be coming on and when I was messing with the developer options, so I could run a trace log on my phone, why did the front selfie camera come on to take a picture of who was doing that? Huh? If MDM was just still randomly active but not being used. I now sound like I'm falling asleep because this subject kills me on the inside. So I'm going to post this. Then I'm going to post a much more chipper umatter. But I wanted everyone to know, if there's anyone that even watches this, that this stuff is real. It's not a boogeyman, though. In my case, I can pinpoint to when it started. The thing is that I had two crazy things happening at the same time, so I don't know who. But I can tell you this, every single thing that was weird to me, after all the years that I've been working on executives' phones, every single thing that was weird got screenshotted and sent to my printer and is sitting in a safe off-site of my house. Paper. So I don't know what to tell anybody except I'm coming for you. I just need help. I need a lawyer that specializes in this stuff. I need to understand the logs that I'm looking at to be able to tell who is doing it, who's responsible. And there's about 57,000 layers on top of this, of the other things that I've done to protect myself, our equipment, our house. We've replaced all things. We've checked all things. We've VPN, malware, you name it. Whatever you're thinking that you are thinking maybe she missed that, I didn't. The only thing that I refused to do was switch out my phone. Because, well, now I have $11 to my name, which is, I don't know if I even had that little when I was 12. But at 53, if he really wanted me to feel it, I feel it. I just feel sorry for whoever is in charge of that, because what comes around goes around, y'all. And I didn't do anything, you know. I stood up and I stood my ground in both of those instances. I got demoted for living at work. I lost my job to five people had to do my job while I was on medical leave. 5. And then when I came back, I reported to my assistant. So I just called the EEOC and just asked them, you know, I've been getting harassed during meetings, which is weird. These are my people. Like, we'd worked together almost 20 years. And they are the ones that opened up an investigation, not me. So if this is some sort of like retaliation attack from AT&T, y'all could let it go. I mean, it's over. You know why? I just want y'all to know, because I know that I matter. I know I lived for a reason. I'm a good mom. I'm a good person. I'm a good daughter. I'm an excellent friend. I mean well. I want joy to be the number one thing that everyone in the world focuses on, so that, you know, politics and cyber crimes and, oh my God, your next door creepy neighbor, all that can just stop. People can stop being afraid. That's what I want. So maybe wherever this is coming from, you can go back and fix what you messed up. Me not being able to get a job is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I've worked since I was 12. It's ridiculous. I was a suicide counselor before I worked for AT&T. I don't understand. So this is not a complaint. This is an informational educational video. It's a replacement of the one I made the other night because it was so dark and my phone was in black and white, so I couldn't even tell how dark it was until just a few minutes ago when my phone magically rebooted and bam, there was color. Oh yeah, I figured out that I don't have a real messaging app because apparently I send messages in my sleep. There's so many things that you can look for, and I think if you feel the same way I do about weird stuff happening with your phone, always turn it off and turn it back on, and always be curious. If it looks like you've sent a crazy text to somebody and you may have been drinking the night before, but you're like, that doesn't even sound like me, just call them and ask them out loud, hey, read to me what I sent you last night. Y'all, stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid. There's no such thing as a boogeyman. That's what the movies are for. Candyman was my one that scared me to, I don't have a clue why, but I don't believe in the boogeyman. I believe in naming names, and at this point, I know I can name his name. I am not comfortable with that quite yet because I don't know. I mean, I just don't feel like having to kill somebody. That's a joke. I just don't know yet. I need help. I need somebody to find the sniffer trail and take it backwards. You know? I've never hurt anybody. I even put spiders back outside. Now, okay, scorpions don't get to live. Not around me, because those suckers hurt. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me. If you're still with me, I just want you to know that I am okay. I am safe. We have security system, game cams. Perla has been weird lately. She has not left my side. And she also doesn't leave my side when we have storms, which is sweet. So I just want you to know you're not alone, and I love you. And please comment, please, anything, share, whatever you feel necessary if you think that you can help. I would never just say that to YouTube, but I honestly don't know what to do except continually document. It's a winnable case, hands down. What I'd rather, though, is have somebody come to my house and tell me, where the beacon is that I keep finding on our system and what it is that is grabbing our network and putting a Bluetooth network on it with the same name as said X Wi-Fi system. I mean, I just don't believe in coincidences like that. Anyhow, if y'all can see, I still have my cucumbers not in the ground. It seems like every single day I'm getting pulled under the weight of tech, and I need a break. I need help. This has been going on for so long. I mean, I know I have one of my girlfriends I know that she doesn't call me because I told her a little snippet of this, and she's so private. She just was not, she just couldn't do it. So, I love you guys. I'm going now. Bye.